Emma Pierce never imagined that the word sorry could carry so much weight. She had said it countless times before, over small slip-ups, late arrivals, forgotten errands, but never like this. That morning, as she stood by the window with a mug of coffee warming her hands, her reflection looked back at her like a stranger. Outside, sunlight spilled across the quiet suburb of Ridgefield, a neighborhood of perfect lawns, friendly waves, and predictable peace. Yet inside Emma's chest, everything was unraveling. Ryan, her husband of 5 years, was in the other room getting ready for work. She could hear the soft tap of his shoes against the hardwood floor, the faint rustle of fabric as he slipped into his jacket. Every sound was a reminder of the life they had built together, a life that suddenly felt delicate, like glass about to crack. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Just a simple notification. It shouldn't have mattered, but it did. She glanced at it, then quickly turned it face down. Guilt pressed hard against her ribs. She had known this moment was coming for days now, the moment when the truth would no longer stay quiet. Taking a shaky breath, she called out, "Ryan!" He appeared in the doorway, a faint smile on his face. "Hey, you're up early." "Yeah," she murmured, her voice thin. "Couldn't sleep." He nodded, stepping forward to grab his coffee. "Something on your mind?" Emma hesitated. The words clung to her throat like shards of glass. She wanted to delay, to soften the blow, to find a gentler way, but there wasn't one. "Ryan," she began quietly, "there's something I need to tell you." He looked up instantly, sensing the shift in her tone. "Okay," he said cautiously. "What's going on?" She set her cup down, her hands trembling. "I made a mistake," she whispered, "and I don't even know how to begin explaining it." He froze. "A mistake?" Emma's eyes filled with tears as she nodded. "Yes, I broke something I can't undo." Silence swallowed the room. Outside, a car passed by. Somewhere, a dog barked. But inside that kitchen, time refused to move. Ryan leaned against the counter, his jaw tightening, the weight of her words sinking into the still air. Had once laughed at midnight over burnt toast. How they used to dance barefoot in the kitchen. How somewhere along the line, life had swallowed the simplicity of love. Those late-night conversations were raw and uneven, filled with pauses that hurt more than words ever could. But they were talking again, and that meant something. Emma began to see small changes in him, in both of them. The way he poured her coffee without asking. The way she left notes on the counter before he left for work. None of it erased the past, but it stitched tiny threads of understanding through the wounds they carried. One evening, as autumn winds brushed against the windows, Ryan stood by the door, watching her. His eyes were tired, softer now. "I don't know how long this will take," he admitted quietly, "but I'm still here." Tears gathered in Emma's eyes, and she managed a trembling smile. "That's all I could ever ask for." Outside, the night deepened, wrapping the house in its stillness. Inside, they sat side by side, not fixed, not whole, but trying. And in that quiet effort, something fragile yet real began to return. A heartbeat of hope. They talked about how they first met, how somewhere along the way they had lost their rhythm, and how people can change even without meaning to. It wasn't easy. Trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild. But slowly, Ryan began to see Emma not as the woman who had betrayed him, but as someone genuinely trying to make things right. And for the first time in months, Emma began to feel the faint glow of hope returning to her heart. One quiet morning, Ryan asked her to take a walk with him. They went to the park where they'd had their first date. Autumn leaves carpeted the ground in warm shades of gold and amber, the air cool and calm around them. After a long silence, Ryan finally spoke, his voice low but certain. "I've thought about everything, and I'm not ready to walk away." Emma's breath caught. "You mean, I still love you," he said gently, "and I believe in second chances." In that moment, Emma realized that love was never about perfection. It was about endurance, about facing the hardest truths, seeing the worst in each other, and still choosing to stay. As they walked hand in hand, sunlight filtered through the trees, their shadows blending into one. The road ahead wouldn't be simple, but it would be theirs. And sometimes, that's all that truly matters. Moral: when a woman says, "I made a mistake," it isn't always an excuse. Sometimes it's a confession carved out of guilt, honesty, and love. The first words of truth are the hardest to speak, but they mark the beginning of healing. Love isn't about never falling. It's about choosing to rise together again.